So, over the weekend, I guess it kind of feels weird to say like over the weekend now because it's been like it's Wednesday now. Is it really like I went to a LAN tournament. I went to SeaBATTLE. SeaBATTLE 4 is my second time being at SeaBATTLE. So I thought I'd just quickly go over the tournament run and what happened. I'll add a little context at the start. My team is Fish. That is our name. You can see it right here. The team consists of five, me, Kalana, and Manaphy. And before this tournament, I was essentially basically like kind of two-tricking like Range Blaster and Slosher. And that's kind of what I was like originally planning to play. But when we were looking for a fourth, we were like, oh, we could get a bucket player and then just have me play like Splash or Shot. Because, you know, I used to play that for like a long time. I'm pretty experienced with it, I think. And so essentially for like 2 weeks before this tournament, I was just hard grinding to try and relearn support shooter. And overall, I think it went pretty well, to be honest. I definitely could have played more, and there definitely was obviously some weaknesses in my game. I think my mechanical skill was definitely pretty bad. But I think for like, you know, the 2 weeks I spent and put into Splash, you know, I hit 2600 in JP. I mean, like, I feel like I'm pretty satisfied with how well I played in this tournament. So I'm going to go over this. So our first round is actually on stream. One thing about SeaBATTLE is they actually do record every single match, even off stream. There's always someone like recording the games at the setups off stream, which is really cool because you can actually watch like every single match of the tournament. It's all on YouTube, by the way. If you guys want to check out any of these sets, maybe I'll make like a playlist of my run that I can put in the description. And just for a little context, okay, we were all like in a corner of the venue, just on handheld mode, just grinding the game, just like trying to get like ready, trying to get warm. I think Kalana and Five were doing like warm-ups against each other in like a private battle. They were doing like 1v1s. And when we actually got to like the setup, dude, it was so hard to play. Like everything felt weird. Everything felt off from like the switch to handheld to like playing on the stream. So this first set is very shaky, especially this first game that we play. So let's just jump right into it. All right, so we're fighting PSPM, who I think the team that took home silver finals, like silver bracket grand finals. Basically, the way this tournament works, it was groups. There was 4 groups of 4, and you had to make it like top 2 in your group to make it to top cut. If you made it bottom 2 in your group, you went to silver bracket. So obviously, we wanted to get to top cut. None of us felt like really mechanically warm at the moment yet. You know, like we were still getting used to it. This was our first set we played all day. Our first set was on stream. Weapons like Clash Blaster and Roller aren't really like the scariest weapons to fight at like LAN tournaments. But when like all of your mechanics feel off, Clash Blaster is surprisingly a very scary weapon to fight. There is commentary for this set, but I don't know how loud I should make this because I'm gonna be talking over it the whole time. Yeah, honestly, at this point, I'm just like trying to like not die because I feel like if I fight anyone, I'm gonna die. Because again, I feel like my mechanics aren't really all that good already. But in this tournament where I'm like barely warm and nothing feels right, like I feel like moving doesn't really feel right at the moment. I don't want to end up like feeding into a Clash Blaster or Roller. One thing that's going to be very common through this tournament is Kalana's just going to absolutely run through everybody. Kalana was definitely our carry player of this tournament. Just the sword pick into getting like 2 kills with like every zip, it felt like it was crazy, you know? So we ended up pushing to 20, which I think is like basically all that really happens in this game. And we end up taking game 1 of this set, which is, you know, not exactly how this game was supposed to look, because on paper we definitely beat these guys like 3-0 for sure. So having a very shaky game 1, not a great start, to be honest. All right, so now we have Clam's Inkblot, which was game 2, which I think is honestly one of Splash's like worst maps, because it's just one of maps that Crap doesn't really get a whole lot of value on, at least on retake, because the stacks in the middle of the map kind of really hurt you when you're trying to like just get Crab out. And it's kind of like how this is not a great map for Zuka either, because, you know, this is the middle of the map makes it really hard to do stuff. Obviously, you could still do stuff because specials are broken, but I honestly have no idea what happens in this game. Like, this game is not in my memory. I remember how the next game goes. I do not remember how this one does. Oh, probably something worth mentioning. I'm pretty sure, like, all pools were best of 5, so we were definitely expected to beat this team. So for them to be pushing on us like this hard at the beginning of the game is a little unexpected. I think it kind of caught us all off guard. These guys played really well, so props out to them. Before this set happened, I was watching Raymaru VODs, and one of the VODs I watched was for Inkblock Clam Blitz because I wanted to see where he crabs on this map. And one of the spots that he does crab on a lot is this like little block thing right here, like right up here. So that's basically what I'm trying to do in this spot. I'm just trying to get that, but it's kind of hard to get up there with the dynamo. But that's kind of my main goal at the moment. So as you can see, there's the crab, and it's just that's the only place he crabbed like the entire game. Like I imagine he can crab on stack too. It's probably not that bad. Who's ready for the crab? There it is. The crab spot. There it is. And this ending's actually like pretty scary because we're not really in a good spot at this moment. I go down on the side. This is a really crazy like living scenario because I think if Kalana dies here, we definitely lose this game, but just barely is able to get out. So we end up like kind of surviving, and they can't really push in against like Sword and like Pencil. Very scary game 1 and game 2. This team played really well, to be honest. I'm not surprised at all that these guys won silver finals. The last map of this set is Rainmaker Crableg, which for some reason was in this map list. I don't know why. I feel like a lot more Rainmaker maps that I would put in before this, but I'm not going to say anything about it. I think this is like one of the only times we play it, so it's not really that big of a deal. So I get this really aggressive crab in top right because I was able to push in super early because we got like 50 million kills, and we're just going to kind of sit in here for a while. We didn't end up KOing on that push, but we get another one very soon after. And we kind of just sit here and stall it out because there's really no need for us to push forward here. So we're just making the call. We're just going to sit here and we're going to just wait for something to happen. And if, we get the ability to KO, we will, which is pretty much just what ends up happening. And yeah, we stalled it long enough. Everyone's dead. We KO. First 3-0 of the tournament. And we finally finish off our first set. We only have one more set of pools because our group only had 3 teams. The other groups all had 4, so we were the only one that had to play 2 pools matches. And again, this is pretty cool. SeaBATTLE records every single set, so you actually get to watch anything, even if you played on a different setup. So this game was played off stream. There's no commentary for this, but you can see the actual, match still in full, which is pretty nice. So this is pretty much our comp that we stuck like the entire tournament. Pen, sword, splash, bucket. Sometimes we'd run Sea Blast, sometimes we'd run Decavitator. Other than that, that was basically it. Okay, I actually played the audio for this one because I didn't want to talk over the commentary, but I could play like the actual just audio for this game. I think I end up getting like a couple kills here. Yeah, I killed the Dread, and then I ended up killing the Brella with 5, and then we ended up cleaning the Roller. If you want to watch the full games, by the way, you can just go to the SeaBATTLE YouTube channel. They're all there. And again, I think I'll make a playlist of like my run at this tournament, just because why not? I mean, all the matches are there. I might as well for fun, right? I wouldn't really do that for like any other tournament, but like this tournament's like pretty special because it's a LAN tournament. These are always fun. If you've never been to a Splatoon tournament, you should totally do it if you play the game because like it makes playing this game like 1,000 times more fun. Yeah, it's a full 5-minute long Clan Blitz game. Okay, what do we got next? Rainmaker Robo Ramen. Oh my god. This is so much jump value. Oh my goodness. It's not my team, but I respect the value. I respect the value. Oh yeah, I remember this game now. This game is crazy. Okay, so they pushed to like 1 almost immediately. We barely stopped them. Again, this is a map that I think very heavily favors the aggressor because you do not really want to be pushed onto defense on this map. This is like kind of worrying when they pushed it to 1 because it was like, 1 point. That's going to be pretty hard to break even on this map, but hey, anything can happen on this map. And we end up getting a push pretty much right away because that's just kind of the nature of how this map goes. Look at this. Okay, 1 kill here. Almost gets the kill on this person. I think actually does with the zip to trade out. And then we barely are able to escape with the knockout. Alright, Zones Umami. This is one of the few maps we switched to the Cavitator on for pretty much the entire tournament because we were running it in practice and it was like completely broken. Really like this play, just nobody pushed mid, so I decided to just drop here. And I ended up getting 2, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think we take this zone and I don't think we ever really lose it. Yeah, Kalana and Anafi are just going to fight everybody. Meanwhile, me and 5 are just going to hold the back line, make sure no one like just slips through. Showing this pool bracket, I don't even really understand what this means. Like, I have no idea what I'm even looking at. But obviously, since we won both matches in pools, we got into top cut. Since our pool only had 3 teams, we were basically guaranteed as long as we won a set. One of the big things we really wanted from this tournament is that we wanted to be like across from the #1 seed team in this tournament, which was Shiny's team, Pico de Gallo. In SeaBATTLE 2, a tournament that I also played with 5, we were seeded into the pool with the top seed team, and then actually had to fight them in bracket before Grand Finals. And since this is a single elimination tournament, fighting the top seed before Grand Finals is essentially like staring down the Death Star. So one thing I was really hoping for was that we would be on the other side of that team. And thankfully, we were. We were on the other side of bracket from Pico de Gallo. So as long as we were able to get to Grands, we would basically guarantee second place as long as we won these next 2 games. All right, so we're in Top Cut now. So this is Fish versus Feeding is My Passion. All of these pickups are going to have pretty funny names because there's not a lot of like teams that go to LAN tournaments, like local LAN tournaments at least. So most of these are going to be pickups. Which is kind of funny about this team is that Sakura was actually on her team for SeaBATTLE 2, me and Five's team. First we were teammates, now we're enemies. It's time to fight. Again, Rainmaker Robo Ramen. I don't know why it's round 1. I don't exactly remember why, but I think we talked about bringing out Charcoal Decapitator, which I think is what Kalana is basically going to run until Grand Finals. It's kind of scary at LAN tournaments playing against like weapons that you don't usually see, stuff like Ink Brush and stuff like Charcoal and whatever. Because, you know, the less experience you have against something, the easier it's going to be for them to catch you off guard. So, again, this was another set that was like off stream. I think there is somebody like at the controls at this set because, like, I mean, I don't think you can open the map screen by like automatically. So it's pretty cool that there's someone doing that. Shout out to you, Spectator Cam. You're the GOAT, the unsung hero of this tourney. Okay, so this opening is actually really interesting because I think we all die except me. So, but they get 2. And then I just barely live this fight against Sakura. And I'm going to kill for the wipeout. And I'm the only one alive, so I pick up and I just rush it to the pedestal. I don't really remember much about what happens in this game outside of that opening because I think that opening was just kind of interesting. I don't know how that didn't kill. What? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this blaster. Hits the floor just barely. And so the second shot doesn't kill. God, I love blaster. Such a good weapon. This is another part of this game, just watching the ink brush because it's a scary weapon. I don't know how ink brush exactly works, but I feel like you don't want it to be behind you. I feel like that would be pretty annoying. So Decav looks like such a fun weapon to play. It's just like you just wander around the map, just killing everybody. Like, especially at these like LAN tournaments where everyone's playing at pickups. This looks like such a fun weapon to play. So I'm chasing the bucket. I think I get the kill on the bucket. The cam kind of panned away before it happened. But yeah, we do end up winning this game. I believe these are also best of 5s. I think like every set in this tournament is best of 5 outside of Grands, which I think was best of 7. It's also single limb, by the way. So whoever gets out in this round right now is like completely out of the tournament. They don't play any more games. If you get to semis and you lose, you can play 3rd place. But if you get out here, nothing. You get nothing. Zones Barnacle is really just a map about can you retake, because it is so hard to retake on this map. You really need to utilize your top right a lot because it's kind of the strongest area you have. Because if you just all stack in this area, then you can kind of just push in like that and kind of just get surrounded. Okay, that's a good kill. I don't know how I didn't die to that decav. I ended up getting another. And at this point, this game is basically over. This is a map where I think flanks really do come into play, because there's not a lot of maps in Splatoon that's like, oh yeah, they're going to flank us a lot. Like, at least in this game, right? But this is definitely a map where, you know, a brush or a decav could get behind you pretty easily and, you know, just be really annoying. So I think I handle brush pretty well, like, in this set, which I think I'm supposed to be, because I think that's probably supposed to be my job. I don't know how I got that kill. That's pretty good. And then we end up getting the wipe out there. Nice. I'm very used to playing against, like, very annoying, like, run behind you, be annoying, have to check everything weapons, because I was playing a lot of JPX before this, like, tournament, and there is so many roller players in JPX rank. It is crazy. There's, like, a million roller players. Like, if you want to get good at, like, fighting roller, pick, like, Takaroka Division and get to, like, high X power. There's, like, a roller player in, like, every single game. So they're pushing here, and basically my main goal on Mako, whenever I'm playing Mako with Splash, is I'm just trying to get to crab, because there's a lot of really good crab spots on this map. Usually I like the crab, like, on this thing. You can, like, pop the ink rail, and then you can jump onto this glass place, and you can crab here, and it's a really good crab spot. Or you could also crab over here, like, on the very top left area. Not the stack, but, like, the top left area. It's pretty good. I'm basically just trying to live. Like, I don't really want to die. A lot of these weapons are really bad matchup. I don't think decav and bucket and decav also are bad matchups, but even like shot is like not great, and I don't think brush is like particularly great either. Kalana's just gonna kind of clean sweep the rest of this out with the inkjet. All right, so with that win, we get put into semifinals, which we have to fight Aquatic Landguard, because they're the ones who beat, I think, the other team that we ran into pools earlier. All right, so Aquatic Landguard is a aptly named pickup of Aquatic Vanguard. which is a real team. This is one of the few teams. I think this might actually be one of the only teams like in this tournament. I talked with Five before the set actually happened, and we were kind of worried about fighting these guys because we never actually got to fight them in SeaBATTLE 2 because of the way the tournament was seeded. They were on the other side of a bracket, and since we got eliminated before we got to Grands by, you know, the #1 seed, we never actually got to fight them. But they put up a really good fight against the team that we lost to before eventually getting reverse swept in that tournament. I think on paper we definitely should take them, but you never want to underestimate anyone in this tournament, especially when their comp is like 3 different weapons you've probably never fought against before. Oh yeah, before the tournament we were also doing this. I think the biggest thing in this set specifically that just really helps us out is that Aquatic Landguard is playing Tent, and we are playing Decavitator. And if you know anything about that matchup, it's not very good. So again, the winner of this set goes to second place. So this is a pretty big deal because it's not really that big of a deal because the difference between like second and third, like the prize pool, I think is like $10. But you want to get to second, you want to get a chance to win the game in grand finals. And especially since I've already got third place, getting third again, I'm used to that already. I want to get second. So obviously I'm trying to get Crab because, Splash, not a great weapon, but Crab, very great weapon, stalls pretty much every interaction. And as you can see, they pop Zuka basically on my Crab, which is not great for me, but it's great for my team because they're going to be able to move in instead of getting Zuka'd. And thankfully, I don't actually die, so I'm able to just kind of go in and clean everybody up here, end up getting the kill on the Splash. And the Strike goes down, the Dynamo goes down, and basically at this point, the game is over, and we take game 1. TC Hagglefish, and one thing you will know about the other team is that they completely switched their comp, and now we are running into Clash Blaster for the second time on stream. So obviously now this is Top Cut, so this is, serious, super serious Clash Blaster gameplay. We love Splatoon. The bomb, unfortunately, taking us down. And they're going to get a pretty early push on us here. And again, I think these weapons that you never really fight are always the scariest, like Explo and, Crab. Even Crab Stamper is, like, not a weapon you see too much in, like, competitive play. Because, you always just run the other one. But these weapons are so scary to fight in this kind of tournament. Because you don't really know what Clash Blaster is going to do. You've never fought, like, a competitive scrim against Clash Blaster one-tricks, right? Because they just don't really exist in North America. So kind of fall down early and get picked off. But we end up taking it back. All right, and here we're about to see a play which everyone who watched this set live is probably only going to remember it for.
Aquatic Landguard are running. We see the Zap dive tower, not enough. Oh! Clip that! Clip that! Clip that! Clip that!
Didn't even know that was something that could happen. And we don't end up getting the lead on that push, obviously. So we're going to have to try again. Okay, so finally, we end up pushing up. This time, we're, hopefully not going to die. I end up using Crab really early, but it's fine because we have Inkjet to kind of push through this top right area. And that is like one of the few specials I feel like that can really just control that top right area. It's actually really close for this lead here. We end up barely getting it. And then I end up fighting the guy on the tower just for fun because I'm just like, you know what, maybe I can kill this guy. And then another guy pops on and kills me. But we get the lead, so we get what we came here for. I'm kind of surprised they didn't get lead on this. Essentially, so I get the Explo because it's a weapon I'd fight. And then I see these two guys here. I try to get an easy kill on one. I'm just like, okay, this is not obviously worth it. So I end up going behind them, which I think is the right play because now they have to focus their efforts on 2 sides. And I'm just kind of being alive, being annoying. And we ended up cleaning them out from this area and defending our lead. At this point, defense is the name of the game, but you know what? Best defense is just killing the entire team again, so we're going to go ahead and do that and just try and get more points, because it was pretty close. They did almost take lead, so getting a couple more points on the board, not a bad thing. Trying to help out top right here, because we just don't really have anybody there, and we end up getting a couple more points and winning this game, I believe. Yeah. Clams Mako, game 3 of semis. If we win this game, we will go to Grands and be guaranteed at least second for this tournament. Landguard has went back to their comp that they were running in the first game. Unfortunately, that means they have to play Decav and Detent. They probably weren't going to keep that, Clash Blaster comp forever, so obviously it makes sense. I think we have a lot of good plays in this game. Obviously, we kind of got pushed a little bit, but, losing 20 points, 30 points on this map isn't really that big of a deal. Very easy map to come back on. And this, what happens here, I don't even really know what happens. So they get like 3 power clams. They score the first one, obviously, and then they miss right next to the basket with the other one. And this is like really dangerous. They could easily get lead off this, so it's kind of worrying. They get another power clam right next to the basket, like in throw range for sure. But I guess just don't get it off. I'm not really sure what happens. I don't know if he died like super early, like just before he threw it, or if he threw it into the wall, or both. I have no idea. But they end up dropping both of the clams, and somehow we escape that with the lead. At this point, we're obviously looking to push again, and the stream doesn't catch it, but I'm on this wall right here, and I'm basically just sitting here waiting for these two guys on the left to come up and try and maybe pick them off. Unfortunately, we don't get that angle for long, but I end up killing both of them. As you can see, you can just look at the enemy like HUD right here. Two end up going down. Both of those are my kills, so we end up getting another push here. And we have a lot of points here. We have enough to like end the game pretty much. We have enough to like end the game here if we can get our pity clams. So I'm just basically playing to stall. I have the crab top left, obviously, because I just killed everyone that was there. Obviously, we need our pity, but we also need to keep the basket open. Thankfully, Manaphy has clams to do so. And I think Klana ends up getting the pity from our basket and scoring it, putting us into grand finals. All right, here we are, grand finals. Pico de Gallo versus Fish. Everyone's been waiting for it. I'm pretty happy at this point in the tournament because I feel like I've been playing pretty well up to this point, and second place is definitely what I knew we could get, you know, just looking at the seeding. Like, in my mind, we would be second place. I don't think we were seeded second place. I think we were seeded third behind Aquatic Landguard, but obviously we beat that team. Probably should be worth noting, between this grand final set and like the quarterfinals matches, it's probably been at least like an hour or something at this point, so both teams are probably not exactly that warm right now. And just looking at the rosters of this match. Shiny is, I think, like a Div 1 pencil player, plays on like Monsoon right now. I know Eevee is like a Div X Carbon. Nico is, I think, got like second place at Riptide 2022 with Red Sun. I don't really know about Pepe's like competitive results history, but I think Pepe's like 29 XP or like 3000 XP or something. And if you're that high in X power, you definitely have really good mechanics, which is honestly what I was kind of worried about. I wasn't really worried about Carbon too much because I was pretty confident I could burst bomb Carbon and paint for it and whatever. But the high XP mechanic shot and like maybe even splash a little bit, that's what I felt like my main issue was going to be, like just fighting those guys, because again, I don't think my mechanics were very good. I think that was probably the worst part of my game. This first game really honestly isn't too worth talking about. I feel like they just kind of get a push that just really never stops going. We just kind of never really stop them. They just kind of have this infinite push that just never ends. We're never really able to completely clear them out, which I feel like is kind of hard to do on this map specifically. And we just barely don't get the tower before they KO here. Also, the production for this tournament is so cool. I love all these like logos and stuff. Okay, this game specifically, I remember it was so bad for me. I feel like I missed so many kills that I should have been like had guaranteed. Again, getting the crab kind of just shredded by the Zuka. This team is running like double Zuka for like most of the set because they're running shot Carbon. Right now they're running shot Decaf, so not quite double Zuka right now. But they have a lot of Zuka and a lot of stuff to shred crab, which has kind of been carrying me for like this entire tournament so far, so it's a little detrimental. We're definitely holding our ground a little better, but it'll feel like just randomly, just a lot of stuff will just collapse. Like, for example, right here, like the Splash Magic's going to kill our entire team. It's going to first kill 5, then they're going to get the jump on Kalana's Zip, and then the bomb kills me, because I didn't even see the bomb, to be honest with you. We never really get a push in this game, and we lose before we get to. All right, Game 3, Undertow Spillway. I feel like this map is kind of summarized what happened here as double Zuka, but we do end up getting a pretty decent opening here. We know they're going to pop the Rainmaker because they're playing Wellstring, like N-Zap, just like an insta-pop comp pretty much. So we know they're going to just pop it and hold forward because they've basically been doing it on Rainmaker like the entire tournament at this point. So we're kind of ready for it, and we stop them, and I end up killing the Wellstring here as well. And here they're basically going to get another push that just never ends. So we end up getting like a pretty decent stop, and then the Zuka comes in and just kills both of us. And here it's going to happen again. I start crabbing here because I saw this in a Raymaru video. It's just like, this is just where he crabs in like X rank. And unfortunately, I don't know if the stream catches it, but we get Zuka'd. 5's also sitting right there, so 5 gets Zuka'd as well, and we both go down. And at this point, it's going to be really hard to stop the Rainmaker, obviously. I think we do get just a stop barely. We actually did get the kill there. Okay, but yeah, knockout. All right, here we go, Game 4, Splat Zones, Mako Mart. I think this is probably my worst game of the tournament that I played. I don't think the tournament like ever shows stats for like any of these matches, but I think this one was like 5 and 10 or something. They do a really good job of shutting down like Kalana's Zipcaster in this set, which I think is kind of unfortunate because it's one of our main ways that we were getting back in most of the time. We ended up flipping zone a couple times, and I get the trade on to Pepe here, but we just don't have paint to flip it again. We end up going 4-0 down to this team, which is kind of expected. Is kind of what everyone, I think, kind of expected to happen when this team got to Grands, because this team is, like, you could probably, like, say, you know, there's some upsets here and there. This is a team that you were expecting to win the tournament, basically, from the start. Unfortunately, didn't give quite the fight in Grands as we hoped we would, and I think I played pretty bad during this set specifically. I don't think the Undertow game was very bad, but I think most of the other games were not very good. So we got second. I ended up getting $20. Well, I think it was actually $19, but the TOs were basically like, hey, you guys just give us like $1 so we can just give you like a $20 bill so we don't have to get out like, you know, 19 bucks with like a $10 bill, a 5, and then like a 1. But I didn't have a $1 bill. I only had 10s and 20s, funnily enough. So thank you to Kalana for giving a dollar so I could get my $20 bill. I also got this second place medal, which is pretty cool. I'm going to just show a picture of it on screen. Third to second isn't too bad. Obviously, would have preferred to get first, but, you know, looking on, that was going to be a pretty uphill battle with the team on the other end. I think considering the circumstances, I played pretty all right. You know, but until Grands, I was playing, like, really good, so I am pretty proud of it. Of course, it was just fun to play. If you've never been to one of these like LAN tournaments, you gotta go to one of these LAN tournaments, man. It's like so much fun. It like makes this game like 100 times better to play. Even just like sitting next to your teammates and just saying like random stuff. It's just fun. It's so fun. I guess I'll end off with like a couple things about SeaBATTLE. Well, not really about the tournament run, but just, you know, about the experience in general. I've been to 3 LAN events in my time as a Splatoon competitor. I've been to SeaBATTLE 2, SeaBATTLE 4, this one, obviously, and then Riptide 2022. And honestly, between Riptide 2022 and, like, these SeaBATTLE events, like, it's a lot closer than I thought it would have been. You know, like, Riptide's, like, this massive event, but this event is just, like, so much fun, man. It's so cool just being able to go to, like, a local area. And also just seeing this tournament evolve over time. It's been, like, really cool. Like, the first SeaBATTLE, it, like, ran too long that they couldn't even play Grands, like, at the tournament. They had to, like, reschedule to play it online. And then the second SeaBATTLE, the one that I went to, they didn't have that problem. We were able to play Grands at the venue. I remember standing behind someone watching them play. I didn't end up going to SeaBATTLE 3, but SeaBATTLE 4, there was a lot of changes. Like, the venue was in a different, like, area. Like, it was the same place, but it was, like, a different area. It was, like, this massive dining area now, which is pretty big. There's even, like, a station behind us that I think got, like, rented out, like, halfway through the tournament, so we had to stop using it, unfortunately. But it was really cool. It was so much, like, more spacious than the previous venue. And it even had, like, a stream room. If you were watching Grands before, you basically just had to stand behind the people who were playing Grands and watch from there. But there's actually like a room that you could watch in it now, which was pretty cool. And of course, you could also just watch it from like any of like the 30 TVs that they had in like the dining room. It's just really cool to see the, you know, the event evolve over time. I think they're hosting the next one at like UW, because it's like a LAN championships qualifier, so it's like a much bigger event. So they're hosting it like an actual college with like 2 rooms or something. It's gonna be pretty cool. I don't know if I'll go to that one yet. Like, I don't live like next to the area, so I can't just like walk over or whatever. So like I'll have to like see if I'm gonna go to that one. I've wanted one in this area for so long. Shout out to all the people who run this thing. It's just amazing every time. There's even like interviews and stuff in between games, I think. There's people giving out like stickers. I got a couple more stickers to add to my like collection. I just kind of keep them like on my desk with all my other SeaBATTLE stuff. It's just kind of like memorial things, you know? Yeah, this event's really cool. If you're in the Seattle area and you play this game, you should definitely go to it because it's really sick. I think they're hosting the next one in like April or something. So if you want to go ahead and play in it, I can leave a link to the Discord in the description just for fun. I'm assuming most people seeing this probably probably already know about it. So yeah, this is super fun event. Always excited to go do it and meet a bunch of people. I think this event is like a little more meaningful to me than like Riptide was, just because, you know, at Riptide, that was like my first year of playing this game competitively, so like I didn't really know too many people. Like SeaBATTLE, I'm playing with like I'm playing with 5, who was like a teammate of mine for like a year, and I've known for a while, so it's pretty cool. You know, it's just so many people I know that I just get to hang out with. But yeah, GG's, second place. I got the medal. I got 2 medals now. I still have the other one from SeaBATTLE 2 where I got third. So that's all I wanted to talk about. I just want to go over a quick overview of my run before, you know, I forgot about anything because, you know, it's already like half a week after the event. I don't want to like make this video like a month in advance and then I just don't remember anything about the sets. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.